we had a diplomatic deal with Iran that was entered into in 2015 that was limiting their nuclear program peacefully, without having to bomb them, without having to kill civilians, without having to assassinate scientists. The United States, together with other nations, used the power of congressional sanctions, Congress did this well, to leverage an agreement whereby Iran agreed, and in the first sentence of the first paragraph of the first page of the agreement, Iran reaffirmed that it would, quote, never seek to purchase, acquire, or develop nuclear weapons. And in the body of that agreement, Iran agreed to a whole series of limitations upon nuclear research, nuclear activity, centrifuge construction, the percentage of enriched uranium it was allowed to have, and also Iran agreed to the most comprehensive inspection regime of any nation on the planet overseen by the International Atomic Energy Agency to ensure that they were meeting their requirements, that they would never seek to purchase, acquire, develop nuclear weapons, and that they would abide by the limits on centrifuges and the limits on enriched uranium and other activities. The agreement was working. Don't take it from Senator Kaine. The International Atomic Energy Association said the agreement was working. The allies and adversaries, Russia and China, were part of this deal, as were the UK and France and Germany. Those who worked on the deal said the agreement was working. It wasn't turning Iran from a bad actor to a good actor. It wasn't stopping all of Iran's bellicose behavior, but it was limiting the very nuclear program that is now trying to be bombed out of existence. We had an agreement that was working. President Trump became president in January of 2017, and he said, I don't like the agreement that President Obama did. I want to get out of it. President Trump's own cabinet, his Secretary of Defense, Jim Mattis, said, don't get out of this agreement. It's working. His Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, don't get out of this agreement. It's working. His National Security Advisor, H.R. McMaster, a former general, don't get out of this agreement. It's working. For God's sake, we have used diplomacy just as we are supposed to, by preferring peace and diplomacy first, to deprive Iran of a path to a nuclear weapon. Shouldn't we prefer diplomacy rather than putting at risk the life of American troops, the 40,000 troops who are in the Middle East? So what happened to the diplomatic agreement? President Trump started to talk about abandoning it. I wrote a piece in Time magazine in 2017, and I said, if you abandon this agreement when it's working, what will Iran do? They'll go back to developing nuclear weapons. Because if the U.S. backs out of it, they will as well. If you abandon this agreement, North Korea will never do a nuclear deal with the United States, because why do a deal with the United States if the United States is going to abandon the deal even when it's working? President Trump didn't listen to me. He didn't listen to his Secretary of State. He didn't listen to his Secretary of Defense. He didn't listen to a lot of people in his administration. He tore the deal up. And, Mr. President, what a tragedy. You have Israeli civilians who have been killed in the Iranian missile attacks, who have nothing to do with the military, and Iranian civilians who have been killed in missile attacks who have nothing to do with the military. They would be alive today. And 40,000 U.S. troops in the region would be safe today if we had decided to act in accord with our values and put diplomacy first and prefer peace over war. That's water under the bridge. But the question for this body that we will grapple with over the course of the next couple of weeks is whether the United States should be in another war in the Middle East.